Before we begin, thank you very much to a vast predatory bird bringing a whole world of pain for joining the Patreon campaign. I do appreciate my avian followers. You do not follow in my footsteps because you're flying, but that does mean you are putting in an effort that a lot cannot, so thank you very much. So I'm going to make this video today quick because this is the type of video nobody watches. But the people who care about the channel watch it. So if you've clicked on this video and you're actually watching right now, thank you for caring about the channel and thank you for wanting to be aware of what's going on and what is to come. You're the real ones. So it's going to be pretty simple today. We're just going to run through a whole bunch of updates and things that we need to discuss, which is not fun. It's not real content, but we got to do what we got to do. So first off, let's talk about the thing I just contributed to, and that would be the show. So let's start by talking about the thing I just contributed to a minute ago, and that would be the shout-out streak. With the video that we did on January 31st, our second dip into the Omega Prime pool, like specifically talking about the debate over how it was released and the price it was released at, that was officially shout out number 365 in a row. It's 365 people I've had to shout out in a row, which is absolutely insanity to me. And I never dreamed I would get that kind of support. So thank you so much to everyone who got me that far. Thank you for everyone who's been pitching in the last year, even if it's just like $1 1 month and then you're out. Like, here's my buck, say my name, dancing monkey, and then you left. Thank you. Because even if it's just that $1, it helps me continue and it helps me produce more for you. So any level of contribution helps. So thank you so much for that. Now, with the shout out streak, it's something that did start organically. So originally, the way the shout outs worked is I would just start shouting out people at the beginning of the month, and then I would run out of shout outs, and then we just do normal videos. And then when the first of the month came around, all the new accumulated shout outs would continue from there. That's because the way Patreon worked when I started doing daily content, when I started doing the shout outs, it was by month. You would get charged on the first. So I always held off shout outs until the first of the month to make sure the payment actually went through. And I was only shouting out the people who really did contribute, not the trolls. Not the trolls who just wanted funny hee-hoos and didn't really throw anything at me. So that was how it worked for the longest time. And then Patreon changed how they did things. Now, the day you sign up is your monthly payment day, which is far more convenient to everyone now. I think that's a lot better way of doing it. That did mean that I could now do shout outs by day. If you pitched in at like 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, then Wednesday your name would get shouted out. So that started creating a run of the daily ones. February 1st, 2023, the first of the shout out streak. I had no idea it would go, but people started figuring out if they had their name set to something silly when they subscribed, I would say really dumb stuff on the air. So everyone thought it was funny and wanted to contribute to that. And I've had some very silly shout outs over the last year. It's been fun. It really has been. Now, the way it got to this point is through a mix of yes, your generosity, your kindness, and that's always great. But admittedly, there is a lot of poking from me in order to push it this far. At first, I literally was just kind of like, at first I kind of took the streamer approach of kind of like making it a challenge. Like, oh, haha, only got one shout out to go. Knew you couldn't keep it up forever. And then the other one was to remind people, like, because it was an organic thing. And people did enjoy continuing the shout out streak. Originally I was pointing out, hey, it's been like 50 days and I've done shout outs every single day, and people just had fun continuing it. So I would give everyone a heads up. Hey, if you want this, hey, I know you guys are having fun with this. If you wanted to continue, this is how many shout outs I have left. Which both of those are tactics in order to get new people to sign up, even if it's just a one-off. What I found is that there were a lot of people who were dropping their subs and then picking them back up under a new name in order to get me to shout out again, which is costing them more money than it should. I would much rather you stay on board and keep your current subscription than dropping and renewing just to get a new funny he who said, because you are costing yourself more money than you need. So that I kind of realized. I kind of realized that because a lot of the sign-up names, email addresses, were the same ones. So I figured that part out well enough. So I started realizing there was a lot of people who are paying into this that really don't need to and really shouldn't be doing it this way. So yeah, I admit that's not the way I should have gone about it. I was trying to drum up new subscribers. What I did, and unintentionally, was kind of like poke people to keep going that otherwise should not have, whether in one way or another. I realized that eventually it puts pressure for people to pay in and keep it going. So, realize like when I started noticing that was like a couple months ago. So at that point, I'm like, okay, let's see if it goes for a year the way we're doing it now, and then we will just and then we like just so we can say we got that accomplishment. So yes, I think it's a great thing that we made it to 1 year of continuous shout outs, 365 generous people in a row, which was actually maybe closer to like only 200. Otherwise, my Patreon would be far higher and have a lot more people on it. So the decision I've made is I'm done. I will still shout out any new patron who signs up, but I'm no longer going to poke and prod for it. If I have a shout out to do, great. If you want the streak to keep going, that is entirely up to everyone out there to keep track of. If you want to pitch in, if you want to contribute anything to the Patreon campaign, you'll get the shout out, no matter, how many I have in the file. But now, no more heads up, no more warnings. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want the rewards, if you want to support the channel, if you want to see the daily content keep going. All up to you now. I'm not going to make a big deal out of the streak anymore. We made it to a year. Thank you for getting me that far. I think that's accomplishment enough. Let's just chill. We'll chill from here on out. And when it ends, and I'm really not going to fret over it. So that's the shout out streak. That's the shout out streak update. I'm officially done. If it ends, it ends. I'm not going to point it out. We also need to talk about the return of TJTV. So, obviously, because of YouTube rules, I couldn't do a lot of the things that the original format had. I couldn't go through an entire episode because that's using too much content from one single source. I couldn't use as many clip gags because, that's again, risking a flag. I could not include the music because that will absolutely get flagged. I could not do a lot of the profane jokes I used to do because family friendly here. So a few innuendos, but that's about it. So I'm happy that the response seemed to be really good. I am happy that a lot of people really enjoyed it and felt like a lot of the response was, yeah, I missed these videos. So the goal of trying to just make it feel like TJTV was apparently successful. And I'm very happy to hear that, right? So overall, I am happy with how the video came out. The people I made it for, as far as I know, I didn't hear what Pumpkin thought of it, but I know Minerva loved it. She was actually in during the premiere, which was great to see because she really enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people out there did too, because the comments and the reactions to it have been great. Like at 25 minutes long, I'll tell you right now, There's a lot of content I actually did cut. There was a portion about the music because the person who made the music for the show is kind of famous, and he's probably the guy who was actually playing Van Helsing. That's the leading speculation. I couldn't obviously, because of YouTube, I couldn't include any of the music stuff. That got cut. Why talk about the music if I can't play examples? The other part was I had a whole thing about the Wikipedia page for this show, which was written by a psychopath. There's a lot of things in there that are just kind of disturbed, the conclusions they came to. That one of them described the character Ambula as having an Electra complex. Electra complexes do not work the way that the show depicted. She was jealous. That's all she was. She was jealous. That's it. If you don't know what an Electra complex is, Google it. Be warned, it ain't nice. So I had to cut that whole thing out, because ultimately, while it was funny and related to the series, it wasn't actually about the series. So that had to get cut. But it still came up exactly where I thought, about a 25-minute video. So while I'm happy with how it came out, and I'm proud to actually do it, because every now and then I do want to prove, hey, I can still do heavily edited content. I can still do scripted content. Gonna be honest here, this is the most work I've ever put into a video, short of the Edgar Allan Poe parody for Beast Machine's Silverbolt. Because I started on the script in December, and then January, almost all of my free time was taken up by doing this video, whether it was finishing the script and editing the script, revising the script, filming, refilming because I missed a few bits, all like the clip gathering. I had I pulled clips from like 9 of 13 episodes. And every time I do that, every time I need a clip from a different episode, I have to drop it into the editor, scrub through a 25-minute video to find the 5 seconds I need. And then if I don't want my timeline clogged up, I have to clear it out, which means when I realize, oh, I needed a clip from that again, do it again. The editing for this took all of the free time I had for like over 3 weeks, because it's so much harder to edit a video like this for YouTube. I'll give you a hint. Like, the one reason why I could do TJTV as regularly as I could was because that first episode segment, and finishing and like talking about just episode 1 of a particular show, at the end, for the second half of the video. That's so easy. That is so easy because my clips and the clips examples I need from the episode are in sync with each other. It's a far easier edit to do than what I ended up doing for this one. So it's a lot of hours I would normally spend with friends, playing games, working on personal stuff. Basically, every ounce of free time and free energy I had went into this for weeks. And if I did it regularly, it would absolutely burn me out. I'm very careful these days of burnout. It's the same reason why I haven't gotten to the Prime episode reviews yet, and I do apologize for how long that's taking, because I know, like, mentally I've known for like the last couple months, if I put anything else on my schedule, it was just going to burn me out and I wouldn't want to do this anymore. Because I still have fun doing it, but it's because I kind of balance my entire life around like having the energy to do this, and then I just shut down the Transformer part of my brain and go do something else for the rest of the day. I'll play Fortnite with friends. I'll watch wrestling with friends. I will tune into, a stream from, that a friend of mine is doing, or I'll pick a game if I just want alone time. I'm going through Axiom Verge 2 because I was in the mood for a Metroidvania. Things like that. Generally, like, once I've talked about Transformers for the day, I'm usually done with Transformers, until tomorrow. It's a balancing act. Now, the balancing act is going to get easier because my Monday D&D game got freed up. We just finished the campaign. I might do a video next week to tell you about it. So my Mondays are now clear. And I might actually be able to get to do stuff on Mondays in that time span. especially with the shout out streak. Without me panicking about the shout out streak anymore, I'm going to be able to I'm going to be able to spend like full days off just doing batches of videos and not burn myself out. You know, I'll just dedicate a day of the week to just like, here's where I'm making my videos, you know, and then just all the way through. It might mean I'll be wearing the same shirt for 5-6 videos in a row, but it's a smarter way of doing things. And the reason I went daily is to keep the shout out streak going. Like, to do day-to-day videos is very stressful, but I did it because that's, you know, the shout out streak was important to everybody. So I did it that way. So that's another reason why the shout out streak has to end, so I don't burn myself out. And ultimately, the biggest issue with the TJTV is performance. So, like I said, the response was great. Everyone seemed to like it. Look at the video I posted the next day. So, the next day, granted, it was something topical. Yeah, a little bit's cut off. I do apologize, but you see the point here. Yeah, almost twice as many views, more comments, same like-dislike ratio. So talking about the last guesses for the new HasLab, yeah, it's a topical video, so they're not all going to do the numbers, but it did way better numbers, and that's a video I put together in 2 hours, as opposed to a video that took me a month of work, and it made me and the video that took me 2 hours made me twice as much money. That's hard. You know, at some point, like, TJTV is supposed to be a reward for my Patreon being over $1,000 in a month. I haven't checked my Patreon yet this month, so I don't know if we cleared that line again. If we did, I'll do another one, but I might be looking at a new format for cartoon reviews that isn't so stressful, or I might be looking to simplify the way I did the new TJTV. So I might modify the way they're doing it now. It might be a little bit more simple, less reliance on clips. I've got to figure out something else. You know, I got to figure out something else. But I also need to know if that really is a reward people are paying for when it comes to my Patreon, because there's no milestones anymore on Patreon, which I hate. So I can't really keep track of it the way I used to, or I don't have any way of finding out if the people who support me on Patreon really do want these things, or if they just want to see me keep doing the daily videos. Because, you know, I don't want to kill myself trying to get, you know, these huge complex videos out if it's not really what people are asking of me. So at some point I have to view it as a business choice. For now, if I need to keep it going this way, I'll do it again. But just, yeah, it's something I need to re-examine. It's something I really need to re-examine, because I really did underestimate how difficult it is to do TJTV on a YouTube level. So that's a huge issue here. You know, and the easy answer is just like, tell your friends about the video. Like, if you think they'd like the video, share it around. Like, if that video does huge numbers, you know, if that video suddenly balloons to 20,000 views, then okay, I'll just do TJTV this way. You know, but at some point it's like, is the reward making up for how much this is destroying me mentally? And sometimes the answer is no. You know, even if it's something I promised to make, and even something that people paid for, at some point I have to be willing to say my sanity is more important than financial gain. So might be re-examining that. Yeah, and then the last thing we're going to talk about, so just as because I've said this in a few videos, the Rush review got put on hold because I got sick. So for those who don't know what Rush review is, because I realize it's been over a decade since I did it, most of my viewership probably wasn't around when I was doing these. They are 30-second videos, all done in rhyme, that review usually a deluxe, you know, usually like anywhere between like Legends to Voyager class toy, in, you know, 30 seconds in rhyme. It was the original YouTube short, you know, back when YouTube shorts weren't a thing. I was doing them back then because the way the algorithm worked, it would reward people just for clicking on, you know, just for having videos people were clicking on and watching all the way through. You know, you would get more revenue and you still do. You do get video for a video that people watch the entire length of, But at the time, short videos were, got you that revenue boost every single time. So you'd have channels that would just aggregate daily content, like 20, 30, 40 videos a day that were all like 30 to 60 seconds long, and that's the entire channel. And usually it was just automated, no less. Like, so YouTube eventually cut that out, and then you had like, okay, well, it has to be at least this long before real revenue starts kicking in. So they messed that up, and then like now like Rush Review wasn't doing any money. So again, I had to view it as a business decision to cut it out. YouTube Shorts are a thing now, though. And it's a perfect format for YouTube Shorts. I was going to begin it in the middle of the month, and then I got sick. So here's the thing. Throughout the entirety of the pandemic, I never got sick once. I took the right precautions, and I'm kind of a shut-in anyway, so like I didn't really risk it. But in general, just in life, I don't really get sick. In my life, I think I've how many conventions I've gone to. I think I've only gotten con crud once. And that's because I had to be roommate with someone who I didn't know at the time, and she assured me, no, like I'm just getting over a bug. It's not contagious. It was absolutely contagious. So I don't get sick. So like the fact that I've gotten sick twice in the span of like 4 months is really unheard of for me. It's really unfortunate coincidental time, because I don't normally plan on like, well, what happens if I get sick? Well, I never get sick, so I don't really make a backup for that. I was planning to start in the middle of January. Set up the light box, start writing some poems, and we'll do Rush Reviews YouTube Shorts, maybe throw it over to TikTok as well. I didn't really get it where even now, talking for this long is burning out my voice. For some reason, the last 2 times I've gotten sick, my sinuses have taken forever to recover, and like I will have like little coughing fits here and there as like it keeps dripping down my throat. So even getting this long without having to go, wait, let me stop and cough, is kind of it's kind of a rare thing, because like even doing my Q&A video that was like a 2-hour recording, you'll notice a lot of jump cuts in that as I was trying to blow my nose, clear my sinuses, cough out whatever junk has built up. Sinuses just take a long time for me to recover the last couple times I've been sick. So I'm feeling good enough now. This is back on the docket. Since I haven't checked Patreon. I don't know if we cleared the goal for another month, but you cleared it for at least 1 month, so you get at least 1 month of Rush Reviews. So we'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear. These are coming. These absolutely are coming. I just have to choose which new toy gets the honors. And then we're just gonna wrap. I'm gonna wrap it up there, just so you know. Okay, so that's the stuff that's going on the channel. Didn't mean to be this verbose about it. Once again, if you stuck through me just talking for the last 2 videos, I'm just sitting at a camera talking at it. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being interested in what the channel's doing and where it's going. Does mean the world to me. So that's your lowdown. Things I've got to start doing things differently. Basically, like the TLDR, no shout out, like the shout out streak has to end, or I'm gonna lose my mind. I have to start doing this in batches, not day to day. And yeah, I got to do things differently to avoid burnout, because guys, it's almost 900 videos in a row now. I got to start doing things a little bit differently, or I will burn myself out. So that's the goal for the month. Figure out new ways. But for now, thank you everyone for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.